Hannibal is the best show on TV. Of course, this is my opinion, so before you jump down my throat with comments about why the show you love is better, at first hear me out. Now, I have watched a lot of TV, a lot of good TV that Hannibal shares company with. Shows like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, The Office, The Sopranos, Orange is the New Black, Penny Dreadful, 30 Rock, Arrested Development, Parks and Rec, Better Call Saul, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Firefly, Schitt's Creek, The Wire, and more than I care to, in all honesty, list. But of all these shows, Hannibal has always been the show that has stood out. Also, a bit more background on me. I do not like to binge shows. Much to my fiance's frustrations, I like to take my time with shows, let them breathe, and not to let them get over with too soon. Having said that, when I started Hannibal, I finished the first season in 2 days. That was as long as I could manage to space it out. Then I went to my local Hastings. Rest in peace, Hastings. R.I.P. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag we miss you. Hashtag never stop thinking about Hastings. And bought the second season and finished that in 1 day. Then I forced my friends to watch it just so I had a valid reason to rewatch it. Hannibal is about the relationship between Hannibal Lecter, who was brought to fame by Anthony Hopkins, and Will Graham, who was played by Edward Norton in Red Dragon. I remember when I heard that Hannibal was coming to a TV show, I had the same thought that I am sure almost everyone did when hearing about the show. Well, there was no way they were going to be Anthony Hopkins, so why bother watching? And I didn't bother watching for some time, until a friend of mine insisted I watched it several years later. After watching Hannibal, I struggled to watch Anthony Hopkins play the character. Not because he isn't great in the role, he is Anthony Hopkins, the man is a legend. But it is because Mads Mikkelsen is just so damn good in the role. He carries himself with more subtlety than Hopkins did.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Which makes sense. In Silence of the Lambs, Hopkins only had about 20 minutes of screen time, and he rightfully ate it all up. Mikkelsen, on the other hand, had seasons to develop his brilliant version of the character, a man who always seems to be calm and collected, but at any minute can twist someone's neck without batting an eye. Also, the subtlety that Mikkelsen plays with on his face. Just the smallest twitches show more emotion than most actors can do using their whole body. And all of this is said before even talking about the main character of the show. The show is called Hannibal, but the main character is Hugh Dancy's Will Graham. Dancy is a masterclass in this role. His Will Graham is twitchy, neurotic, vulnerable, sarcastic, awkward, dangerous, likable, and above all, wholesome. Which is a weird thing to say about a character who uses his extreme empathy to piece together how a killer commits their crimes. Then there is the relationship between Will and Hannibal, an intriguing relationship that I cannot dive into without spoiling parts of the show, and that is not what this video is about. This video is trying to get those of you who have not watched Hannibal to watch it. Just know that their relationship is one of the most complex stories I have ever seen on TV in a multitude of ways. Alongside Will and Hannibal is an incredible supporting cast anchored by, I'm going to butcher this name, Caroline Davernaz, Gillian Anderson, and Lawrence Fishburne, arguably the most famous star of the main cast lineup at the time that the show started. Then there are their incredible guest stars, like Eddie Izzard, Anna Chlumsky, Cynthia Dixon, Michael Pitt, Dan Fogler, Zachary Quinto, Molly Shannon, Gina Torres, and so many more. This show pulled in great talent and used them all expertly, all thanks to the wonderful writing of Brian Fuller and his writing team. You might know Fuller from one of his other popular, canceled all too early shows, Pushing Daisies. Hannibal is one of those rare shows that seem to always have the ability to surprise me, and the most surprising part was that it was on NBC, the network long associated with The Office.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
And Parks and Rec.
Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir, are you aware?
At this time, took a chance on this utterly dark, thought-provoking, twisty, scary, and at times, honestly sadistic show. NBC had never had a show like this, and I do not believe it ever will again. The fact that Hannibal has 3 seasons at all is amazing. Given the low viewer turnout, no one would have blamed NBC for canceling Hannibal, but its small fan base was incredibly loyal and loved the show. My start to something more on this channel. For a long time, I have not known what to do with this channel. All I had was reading 50 Shades of Grey in stupid voices, which was great, but also was to me quite boring to create. I was not passionate about it. I lost my passion for videos. I lost that creative voice, and then I disappeared completely. Hannibal has given me a reason to create videos again, to hopefully take whatever viewers this channel somehow possibly has left and have you watch Hannibal with me, my very favorite show. I want to share this show with you because I truly believe more people need to watch it. So I'm starting a new series where I'm going to break down each episode of Hannibal, talk about each part in detail. Just maybe that will bring in more viewers who will want to watch. Or not. This project is something I'm passionate about, and I have not been passionate about a video in some time. So come with me on a journey. Let's watch some Hannibal.